We spend most of our existence trapped between two absolute boundaries, birth and death. This limited span of earthly time acts like a set of parentheses, boxing in everything we do, think, and experience as human beings. But there is a method to break out of those confines. In 1963, a spiritual teacher named Joel S. Goldsmith wrote a guide designed to show individuals how to transcend those earthly boundaries. Looking at the instructions laid out in this exact book, A Parenthesis in Eternity, reveals a precise method for tapping an infinite inner power. By the end of this video, you will have a concrete, step-by-step daily routine. It's a micro-meditation practice designed specifically to strip away human limitations and connect you to something far larger than yourself. Before we look at the steps, you have to adjust your expectations. You must drop the idea that you are doing this to gain material wealth, fix a physical ailment, or achieve fame. If those are your goals, this practice will not work. The true objective of the mystical path is entirely internal. We are seeking conscious union with our spiritual self, rather than trying to acquire more things in the physical world. The first hurdle in this practice is your own mind. Most of us operate on rigid beliefs, crystallized ideas, and past knowledge. Goldsmith refers to this as trying to live on yesterday's manna. If you hold on to what you think you already know, you leave no room for new realization. Because of that, every single meditation session must begin with an active process of emptying yourself. You have to willingly discard your preconceived notions and enter a state of total unknowing. To achieve this, Goldsmith provides a specific internal invocation. Before you try to meditate, admit to yourself, "I am empty, I know nothing, fill me." The reasoning, arguing human mind, cannot grasp spiritual awareness if it is already cluttered with logic and ego. If you approach this exercise with a desire to debate or analyze, the message simply will not register. Complete intellectual surrender is required. By making yourself entirely vulnerable and admitting you know nothing, you create the vacuum for grace to enter your consciousness. Once you have cleared your mind, the next step is the actual sitting practice. A common mistake beginners make is attempting to force themselves into long, drawn-out sessions, which usually leads straight to mental fatigue and wandering thoughts. Goldsmith sets a strict rule for duration. Retiring into a quiet state should last 2 or 3 minutes at most. The power comes from frequency, not length. This incredibly brief habit must be repeated as many times as possible, morning, noon, and night. You should even use moments when your sleep is interrupted. If you wake up in the middle of the night, use that quiet isolation as an immediate trigger to complete one of these micro-meditations. These constant, brief touch points throughout your day build a continuous state of spiritual awareness. That steady rhythm is far more effective than forcing yourself through a single, exhausting hour of deep concentration. Now we need to correct the psychological aim of your practice. The foundational error most people make is using their spiritual time to petition for specific outcomes, like asking for financial supply, resolving a conflict, or curing an illness. Entering meditation with an agenda to acquire something is entirely human, but that very desire acts as a thick wall. The ego's drive to get results prevents you from receiving anything at all. You have to change your focus. Instead of reaching out to a distant force, recognize a presence that is already resting within you, radiating outward. The true objective of your brief sitting period is simply to be still and know. You sit without making a single demand for your physical world to change. Real spiritual attainment is entirely about illuminating your own mind. It is never a tool for manipulating material circumstances to your personal advantage. Let's walk through exactly how you execute this. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and deliberately turn your attention inward, away from surrounding noise. Before you form a single thought, acknowledge to yourself that infinite wisdom and grace are already fully formed and present inside of you. Then use this exact phrase to anchor your practice. "The kingdom of God is within me. Lord, let it flow forth into expression." Look closely at the mechanics of those words. Notice that you are not trying to pull something inward from the outside. Instead, you are opening a door to let something escape from within your own being. Trying to pull things toward yourself requires exhausting, continuous effort, but simply stepping aside and letting something flow outward requires only a peaceful surrender.
When you repeat this process successfully, you stop being an active striver fighting for results. You transform into a clear, unobstructed transparency, allowing energy to pass directly through you. You now have the complete blueprint. The practice consists of 2-minute bursts of active surrender, clearing your mind, acknowledging the presence within, and letting it flow outward. But you have to manage your expectations. Do not become discouraged if you sit down today and fail to experience profound visions or an immediate sense of peace. Looking at this page, Goldsmith compares the early stages of this work to learning an instrument. It is just like taking piano lessons. You have to put in the steady, repetitive practice of scales and exercises to develop the proficiency of a concert pianist. The only way to begin is to actually begin. The moment this video ends, set a timer on your phone for 2 minutes, close your eyes, and do your first repetition. Escaping the parentheses of human life doesn't require decades of waiting.
Eternity isn't a future destination. It is a state of mind, and you hold the tools to access it right now.